Our sub count is below 1,000 again, so I got to work hard to get it back up there. But I think February is going to be a pretty good month for us. I'm looking forward to it. Oh my god, I just realized like I'm obsessed with Gold Rush, right? And on Gold Rush, they're like sifting for gold, trying to pick up the little flecks of dust. And that's kind of like what I'm doing to streaming, but for subscribers and bits. And I can't stop thinking about this goddamn show. All right, let's get back into it. Spawn here. Sorry. It's game number 1 in a brand new best of 2 scenario, and ooh, throwing down that very quick pool. Now it's not a 6 pool because of the 12 worker start, but it's the next closest thing to it. We have the red Zerg player from Storm Gaming,
Silky.
and at the top right we have the blue Zerg Team Liquids,
TLO.
Rifkin's too high for this shit. I wish. So that's part of why I've got a bit of a cough. I think I smoked a little too much over the past week. I've spent the last day and a half not smoking. And I know someone, oh, smoking, we don't care about your real life, talk about the game. I'm going to, but you know what? There's not a lot to talk about right now because it's a 12 pool, okay? So without gas, you'll see these links come out in a second. And then we get assessed whether it's all in or harassing, all right? Anyways, yeah, so I just, PSA guys, as someone who has spent the majority of his life not smoking, not doing weed, not cigarettes, nothing, don't overdo it. I don't have any symptoms of like a flu or have a cold. 100% this is just because I smoked too much, and it's not something I'm prepared for. So yeah, apologies again for all the muting tonight. I thought this cough would go away 3 days, but no. I'm old and it takes a while to heal. Now, going back to this, we do see more links pumped out, but a drone or two weaved in. Now, if you do this without gas, this doesn't have to be all in. It can still be all in, but this is the idea that you're going to get on top of the hatchery. Some drones are going to get pulled in response to try and stop it from dying. You'll cause a little bit of lost mining, but if TLO plays this perfectly, not only will the hatchery not die, he should be able to transfer the drones to the natural kind of, well, naturally. So he has to pull these. This is no over-exaggeration. Granted, I wish he didn't pull all of them, but once he holds this, he goes back to mining. He knows what this is too. The only thing he doesn't know is how committed this is, like all in versus not. Now that he has his own lings out, the drones are obviously a huge advantage. Hopefully he goes back to mining sooner rather than later. He has had literally 0 income while this defense took place. But TLO's very aware that he could afford that 0 income, as awkward as this looks on the income graph. Because prior to this, not only did he have more drones, he had a natural base over his opponent. Silky now, of course, has his own hatchery done, but yeah, this was a question of like how committed would this really be? And when you don't have gas with it, it's usually not that all in. And we saw him very early start weaving some drones back into his production. So things were sorted by TLO, but they were also made sure not to be an overcommitment out of Silky. I like this. Good opening. Good hold too. Also, Extra, thank you for the 25 months, man. Rifkin, did you see my resub message? Didn't I just read it out? I feel like I just read it out in my brain right now. Was it Onslaught? Oh no, I didn't see a message with it. You want to just paste it again, dude? Sorry, it just says 17 months. But yeah, Onslaught, thank you. Extra, thank you. Maddox came in to gift us sub out. I was literally just talking about this, guys. Later tonight, 3 a.m. Pacific. I don't know when that is in Korea time. Maddox is hosting a huge Korean group stage of matches. 4 players. Winners bracket, losers bracket, GSL style, all that good stuff. There's a lot of Starcraft going on tonight. So enjoy this, take a nap, rejoin me for the morning. Or if you're European, just watch all the time because you have the best hours for Starcraft. Mega Man Red, thank you for the 38 months. Whoops, I is back. Oh man. You and Blue Knuckles need to have a chat sometime. Alright, what Onslaught say? Rifkin. Was this BaseTradeTV? Rifkin. Even though I give you in the chat and will continue to do so, I just want you to know that you're by far my favorite streamer. I know you've been going through a hard time, but I'm here for you. Thanks for everything. Hey, dude, thanks. Thanks for the words. Thanks for the very nice words. And the money that was associated with those words. Thanks for the sub. Money. Zen creates some really weird wall-off situations. Obviously, the one at the top of this ramp is the easiest one to gap or bridge the gap of. You're going to have to solve this solution of walling off, but not fully walling off towards the third, because you want to be able to take this base here. As far as ZvZ goes, I'm just trying to take a stab at who goes mutas first, and I think TLO would be the more likely of the two. I don't think I'm saying that there's mutas going to happen this game. This looks like it's going to be a Roach versus Roach fest, but if there was a player to make a Spire transition, my money would be on TLO over Silky. But they've both taken pretty much the same amount of gas. Tech is mostly the same. One layer finished substantially further faster than the other, but it doesn't really matter because speed's still coming on a very similar timing to one another. +1 actually, oh my god. There's like a 10-second difference in upgrade timing between the two of these guys. It's not enough to really matter. As the roaches flood across the map, I kind of feel like Defender's Advantage is going to really kick in here. There's no way Silky's going to get anything done. So pulling these back right now makes the most sense. Especially because, worst of all, with this Overseer only just having scouted... Oh, rip. He didn't know about the timings for anything on this. In fact, TLO with his earlier economy, ignore this really doesn't count. This was just him pulling the drones, right? With his earlier economy kicking so much butt, he's actually not going to be so hard fought here for that Defender's Advantage fight. All things considered, it should on paper go better for Silky, but TLO is hitting faster with a very large amount of units. The amount of roaches he brings in is 23 to 14, for example, and even though there's going to be more building out of Silky, if this snowballs, it will stay snowballed. One of those things where TLO gets ahead, he will stay ahead. But again, with faster reinforcements coming from Silky, a couple of queens on the back line too, everything says Silky should hold this. Yeah, and he pushes TLO off. Not a great fight here for TLO, frankly, but good assessment of the situation. He gets a feel for the army. And by the way, looks like I should be a betting man. TLO is going to go for Spire. I'm really jaded about this, by the way. I think the Spire is a really good move, but it takes so much attention. Like, if you're going to go Mutalisks to any degree, whether it's 8 or whether it's 25, they require a lot of babysitting, and you've got to spend a lot of attention on them, which is not always something you want to have to do as a Zerg player. You're already stretching your attention pretty thin, like doing injects and saturating bases and all these other things. The micro from the mutas is totally something somebody like TLO can handle. I'm not saying he can't. Oh my god. But it is definitively a lot more attention that's going to need to be spent on units. Boggy Creek Monster, one of our top battlers for Stream Raiders. What's up, man? Thank you for the 8-month resub. On that note, guys, look, I want to speak clear a little bit tonight. I know we can't show you the Raider battle right now because we're in Starcraft 2, but do you guys want me to start early again? Let me know what you think in the chat. If you guys want me to start early, vote 1. If you want me to wait till after the game's done so you can watch the battle, vote 2. A little roach scuff down here, not too much to write home about. The mutas are coming soon, but if not by sky, then by ground, Tunneling Claws and Burrow will be the combo out of Silky, which I think is actually really powerful. It's a lot of 2s. All right, guys, we'll wait till the first game here is done so we can watch the battle together. No problemo. Yeah, so the advantage in the mutas is going to be funny because obviously roaches can't fight back, but it's going to be a really hard fought battle for TLO to hold against Silky's own roaches. If Silky dives in and try and target fire down the hatchery, a lot of transfuses going into this. I don't think he can save it. The base here is absolutely going to die. That is so frustrating. Burrow's almost done, so he might have an escape route out of this. This is actually really good damage out of Silky though. TLO's also, however, doing a really good job defending because most of what he lost here was a hatchery. 5 drones. Okay, it sucks losing 5 drones, but as long as he keeps the majority of these alive, he'll go back to mining pretty strong. And with air control from the mutas, first thing he's going to do once he cleans this up is kill the overlords as he goes across the map. So Silky's going to lose vision. Losing that map control will make it a lot more difficult to find the safe spots to send the roaches in. Because without a doubt, before this game's done, Silky's going to try and sneak like another 3 roaches, burrowed and tunneling clawed, into each of the mineral lines of TLO if the opportunity presents itself. Now, this is weird because the normal follow-up to this, right, is, okay, if a player goes mutas, then the other player goes hydras. And that's what we're getting to. But the next step the next step normally taken won't make a lot of sense because usually the follow-up to seeing your opponent go hydras in response to your mutas is to go for banelings and kind of just steamroll through them. Not really an option when there's a massive roach army on the ground. And if TLO wants to try and make it happen, it'll be a much more costly endeavor than usual. So I think he's just going to have to use his roaches to take on the Hydras, which is doable, but not preferable. So yeah, this is far from Mutiling Bane. This is Mutaroach, which I really don't think TLO is going to overcommit to the Mutas for. I really think these are strictly for harassing, you know, grabbing the Overlords. Overswords. Man, that sounds like a cool dinosaur. Mostly for clearing out the Overlords, but also for just presenting a constant threat to the mineral lines. And of course, while this happens, his real army bulks up here to the top side. It's 58 Roaches to 33, 8 Ravagers to 1. But the Mutas make a big difference in this army for TLOs. He could dive that back line. Well, I guess he will have some trouble doing it with so many queens here. But he does push forward. And again, that Roach amount is so big, he can't even dodge the corrosive pile. There's just too many of them. So he goes into the back of the Mutas, wraps around the side with the Roaches. He gets here before the Hydras are ready to fight. And while the Mutas might die, TLO's army supply, well, it was bigger coming into this. I guess Silky's +1 armor plus his defenders fight here. He's going to clean house. TLO's going to tap out. Silky takes game number 1. But okay, dudes, we continue on here. And 1 point over his opponent to the bottom right, the red Zerg player.
Silky.
And his opponent at the top left, the blue Zerg.
TLO.
Now, TLO already has 1 full win on the board. The 2-0 score there is going to help him a lot with establishing dominance over the group. But it's not going to matter for Jack's squad if Silky gets a 2-0 and then Future has a 2-0 and so forth and so forth. A quick reminder that several of these games will be played off of stream, but I'll still have these scores reported to me. So, for example, I tried to keep a lot of the mirror matchups off stream for you guys tonight, but whether any matches get cut due to timing or whether matches are saved for a replay cast for another day, like specials, for example, scores are going to be reported to me and I'll get them updated to the scoreboard as quick as I can there on that match, or not match, you know, on the challenge page. Speaking of Matcherino briefly, while this game opens, guys, first off, obviously, ! Matcherino in the chat if you're interested, but while today there are no coupon codes or anything for me to ask you to cash in, I would like to remind you that we've met our first stretch goal of fundraising, and I am looking for a co-caster to hire for the finals. As much as I would like to pocket a couple of dollars, I'd much rather bring a friend on for the show and have some fun. So if you guys have suggestions, you know, we've seen a lot of tweets over the last week, people suggesting Zombie Grub, Roddy, Winter, the usual suspects. Do me a favor, keep tweeting me your suggestions because I have not decided to whom I shall reach out to yet. But we do have the money raised from that first stretch goal being locked down, which is good to see there. And Mike Seckham also added another 25 bucks today. Thank you, dude. Obviously, I know that you know that that's not necessary, but appreciate it still nonetheless. Hire Wardy, hired Maynard. Look, you guys writing it in Twitch chat, I want to make it clear. I appreciate the contributions, but I'm going to forget anything you wrote in Twitch chat by the time the show's done today. In fact, I'm going to forget anything you wrote in Twitch chat 2 minutes from now. Have you ever seen me stream with a delay? I lose track of the conversations within the 2-minute delay. So that's why I say tweet at me, because those last. They stay there. I can go back and look at them later. So again, everyone who's writing like Loco and Higher Winter and Pig in my Twitch chat right now, I appreciate it. But you're not going to get anything accomplished unless you actually tweet at me. And not me, by the way, but at BaseTradeTV. Don't forget you. You're forgotten. Who are you? What time is it? Where am I? Pre-record yourself. No, if I was going to somehow do my own solo duo cast, I would just use the voice changer or something. That'd be like way too difficult to manage otherwise. But oh, the trumpet doth sound the arrival, my lord. Presenting the honorable ours. It's our little European Terran, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Joined some mech play from him back in the day. Thank you for the host, dude. Hope you had an all right stream there, bud. For anyone just joining, yeah, it's a ZvZ, I know. But before you all get bored and leave the stream, this is one of the only mirror matchups we have scheduled for tonight. Everything else here should be like TVZs, TVPs, PVZs, etc. You can see the full match list up on Team Liquid. And while there are something like 15 best of 2s that need to be played, we're only going to cast like maybe 7 to 10 of them. I do want to actually make note of that really quick because I brought this up earlier. I have a Korean group I'm casting later tonight. So again, it depends on the timing of these games. If we start getting a lot of matches that are like 30 minutes long, we may cut some of the final matches out of our schedule for tonight. But if I do, we'll keep the scores for those private and cast them from replays on another day. Are you going to mention the game? Great question. Too bad. Well, let's see here. Has this guy got a terrible chat history? I'm feeling a little band happy tonight. The last thing he said was, I hate to say it, but there are props more excellent European players than NA. But I think the top 3 NA players are better than the best EU players. Okay, this guy's got some opinions. So we're going to downgrade this from a ban to a timeout. But I want to let you know that if you're following the channel, Rifkin takes pity on you and doesn't usually maliciously time out like this. There's a couple of banlings set up out of Silky. TLO's going for a Spire again in this game. And up to this point, honestly, nothing really noteworthy has happened in my opinion. They both got 3 bases, pretty safe and sound. They both had links and banlings ready to tussle, but then realizing that they didn't have to, transition out. And while the layer comes down a little bit slower for Silky, I don't know if this will matter too much. Mutas are a defensive thing you play against. You don't typically react to this by going full all in. So a couple of Spore Crawlers, a few extra queens. I guess one thing that's really lacking here is creep spread. Ooh, actually this queen gets picked off. A couple more Zerglings in the mineral lines. The baneling's wasted, unfortunately. Silky's got to pull the drones away from this, and this actually got out of hand here a lot faster than it should have. Between the baneling and just some minor defenses, this really shouldn't have even been a danger for the base, but with Silky going all in, he can't spare any resources to put out extra defense, I guess. So Nidus Worm's on the way. Roaches to go inside of it. The Mutas will be out a little bit late to deal with this necessarily. Oh, TLO actually hasn't seen this, I don't think, right? No, he never got into the natural. He never actually saw the Nidus Worm. Ooh. Okay, this could be a bit of a problem. Because obviously if he knows the Nidus Worm's coming, he's on top of this, but at the same time, these roaches don't shoot up, and it's not like a 4 or 5 mutalisks count. There's gonna be about 11 of them, so I think cleaning up these should be fairly doable. Let's not forget that on top of this, he's getting weapon upgrades. And while these first couple of Nidus Worms are going to be alarming, yeah, as you can see, TLO just kind of pulls back. He's not going to leave anything exposed out here. Goes for the queens, targets him down with the links too. Transfuses out of Silky are good, but there's just too much damage output. And the Mutas will deal with everything that's real. I love it. This is not a meme. This is actually a really smart move. Puts the Spore Crawlers down on TLO's creep, providing some additional anti-air. But the Spore Crawlers aren't even going to get the complete, regrettably. But the time the Mutas had to spend killing those actually gave these roaches the freedom to start making their way to the natural base. And up until just now, until this threat here, Silky had not done any real damage. In fact, even this isn't enough. As you can see, he's going to tap out and TLO will take the game, tying up the series now 1-1.